Hi everyone. I think this is the third time as a charm, but that's how my week is going. So hopefully you are catching me here, and if you don't catch it live, you can watch the replay. I totally forgot until late last night that I was going to post about doing a Facebook Live today, and so I did it just this morning, and you maybe didn't know that I was going live, so that'll be a happy surprise. But maybe a few people will jump on here, and I'm just going to share a few things that are going on while we wait for that, and then I'm going to share this month's Simple Card Class cards with you. And since we did not get to do it last week, I'm going to extend my ordering special for that card kit for one more week until next Wednesday, September 21st. So today is a big day. It's a 24-hour flash sale on stamp sets from the annual catalog. They are 15% off, and it's on every single stamp set in the annual catalog except for host sets. So if you don't have a copy of that catalog, you can just go to my online store. I will post a link above when I'm done, and you can check out all the sets that are on sale there. I checked the list just before I came on here, and it looks like there's one or two maybe that are not orderable, and I think that's probably because they were popular and went out of stock. Enough people bought them. So that may happen to others throughout the day, but I would guess most of them will be available. And then there's also a new set of weekly deals that is available today too, some discounted products. So you can check those out in the online store too. And maybe you saw my post, but the best way to get the most for your money would be to add those discounted items to a starter kit. The starter kit is $99, and you get to pick out $125 of product, so you're getting $26 for free. Plus you can get the discounted items in there, so save yourself some more money. And you don't pay shipping on the starter kit, which we all know shipping costs have increased, and on that amount of an order, it's saving you close to $14 in shipping costs. So that's awesome. Plus you get a free past paper pumpkin kit. You'll get a 20% discount on your orders through at least the end of January. So it's a great time to think about that if you're putting in an order today. And I'll post a link for that too when I'm done. I'm going to flip the camera around now. Hopefully it won't be too bumpy. And I'm going to show you a few classes that I have going on right now. And then we will get to the cards for today. See if I can get this straightened out for you. There we go. All right, so as some of you know, I run 2 card clubs through the mail every month. These are not in-person classes, but they're just through the mail, and they both work the same way. And the Christmas card club, the deadline is today actually, so I have a post going up about that later. But the deadline for the Christmas card club is always the 15th of the month. And these are the cards for this month using the Santa Express Suite, which is a lot of fun. And it was on my must-have list because I have a bunch of train lovers in my family. So this little Santa is so much fun to color. So in the club, you are going to get the products you need to complete your cards. And then you have the option to add on the stamp set or the bundle that I used that month and any inks. So like for this month, you're getting a half package of this designer series paper. You will get a sheet of these snowflakes. You're going to get, I think it's a half package of these stars, and then a roll of the ribbon. So you'll use those products on your cards, and then I cut all the cardstock for you. Do the die cutting if it's not a part of the bundle, and then you get the instructions and the envelopes too, and you get to make 2 of each card. So like this month I offered the bundle you could add on. I used just a couple of inks. I used Shaded Spruce, Memento Black, and Poppy Parade, and then I did use some Stampin' Blends markers, which I also offered as an add-on. But if you didn't want to spend money on that, or you don't have something to color that would match, this one is actually cut out of the designer series paper, so you could do that on this card too if you didn't want to have that added expense. But the Stampin' Blends are really fun, and I'm going to use them on some cards today so you can see them in action. So that's that one. I'll post a link for that. And the club, both my clubs are $39 a month, which includes shipping, which is awesome. Okay, and then I have a monthly card club, which is just general occasion cards. The Christmas card club, I actually run year round. It's Christmas cards every month of the year because then you're ready for Christmas, and I love Christmas crafting. But this one is just more general occasion cards. There might be a few Christmas cards, you know, like in October and November, but for the most part, it's just your birthday, thinking of you, that sort of thing. So this month I used the This Birthday Piggy bundle, and I'm actually including some of the host paper this month. So that's kind of fun. And there's more coloring. I did lots of coloring this month. I love our Stampin' Blends markers. But again, you can use any colors you have, and I suggested to my club members if you want just a few. There's a couple colors I use that will coordinate exactly with the paper. So you could get started there. But these are the cards for that. And the deadline for my monthly card club is the 20th of the month. And I use a few of those dies that are available this month. The Playful Piggy dies. So super cute. I'll post links to both of the clubs in the description when I'm done. Okay, so since we didn't get to have a video last week, I thought I would do my simple card class cards for you today, and I'm going to extend the ordering special to get the card kit. So the 4 cards I'm going to stamp for you today, if you spend more than $40 using the host code that I'll share. I forgot to bring my little printout. You can tell I'm forgetting a lot today. That's all right. I'm sure you all have those days too. I feel like it's been a week or two for me, but anyways, spend more than $40 and I'll send you the card kit to make the 4 cards, and then you just provide your own stamps, ink, and adhesives. So you can substitute the stuff you have, or you can purchase some of those in your order. And then if your order goes over $50, I'll include a free package of Stampin' Dimensionals in your card kit as well. So this first one we're going to do uses the This Birthday Piggy bundle again. And this is just a super fun bundle. The stamp set you could get at a discount today. And then the dies are part of our Perfect Partners promotion going on this month, and they are only while supplies last. So here's the stamp set. And I have not done the math to see which way it saves you more money. When you buy the bundle, I know you save 10%. So you actually might save a little bit more by purchasing them separate today. I haven't done the math because the stamp set is 15% off. And then these are the dies. So you can do the math. I don't think I should attempt math today based on how the day's going, right? Okay. So we're going to start with a mint macaron card base. And then this paper is from the Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper. This is a 12 by 12 pack, and if you love gingham, then this will be right up your alley. There's some fall colors, there's larger patterns, and then the smaller ones, Christmas colors, and it is a huge pack of paper. You get 48 12 by 12 sheets for $30. And I was really surprised. I didn't know that after, I mean, I've looked at the catalog so many times, but one of my customers ordered it at a class, and I thought, why is this paper so expensive? And then I looked, and it is a huge pack, and that's why. So if you love gingham, it is for you. So I just adhered that to my card base, and then I have another piece of mint macaron and a white piece, and I think I better do a little stamping first before I attach that. And I'm going to stamp my Piggy too. So since I'm coloring with Stampin' Blends, I'm going to bring out my Memento Black ink pad. And this is what you want to use if you are coloring with the blends, so that you don't get the bleeding of the colors. So we'll ink up our Piggy. Stamp him. And then let's see, while I have the ink out, I'm going to stamp my sentiment. And this little label piece comes in the Playful Piggy dies, and it fits quite a few of the sentiments in the stamp set, so that's kind of fun. And then I am going to stamp the little butterfly, And we'll just kind of eyeball where he needs to go, like that. Okay. And I was worried I was going to get a big shadow, just a tiny bit, so not too bad. Okay, so now we're going to do our coloring, and I have a whole bunch of colors here today. And these are just colors I picked. Mint Macaron, Fresh Freesia, and Polished Pink. And then I think the perfect pink for the pig is Petal Pink. But I don't know. Do you think something different? I think Petal Pink is a good color for the pig. So our Stampin' Blends come with a dark and a light shade when you buy them. And I usually like to start with the dark. And I am just going to add a little bit of dark. Well, I'm not going to pretend to know where the shadows are or anything, but just kind of do an outline a little bit of the dark around the edge of his body. And since I'm just doing like a little bit of an edge, I'm using the pen tip. But if I'm doing a larger area, like filling the rest of him in, I like to use the brush tip because I feel like it blends a little bit better. And then the cool thing about these markers, since they're alcohol markers, you will not get the marker lines that you get with regular markers. And the light and the dark, or like if you're using different colors together, will kind of blend together. So that's why I'm kind of going over that line where I colored the dark. And then you don't see a line there, it's just shaded. So you feel like an artist, even though, like I said, I don't know where the shadows are or anything. I'm just pretending to be an artist. Hi Jennifer, thanks for watching. Yes, the Piggy and dies are really adorable, and they are so much fun. Okay, and then I'm using my light basic black to color his hooves. And you notice the light basic black is pretty dark. So I would only use the dark basic black if I want like super, super dark. But light is fine in this case. And then I have used crumb cake to color the dirt under him. So I'm just following the lines of the stamp with my dark crumb cake. And then I'll go back in and just go over it with the light crumb cake. And we'll be die cutting, so you don't really need to go too far down. I'm just filling it in, so there's the dirt. Okay, and then I'm going to pull in some of the other colors I used in my card. So I have my dark mint macaron here. And just do a little bit on this side. And then we'll go and fill in with the light. I don't think it really matters too much if you start with the light or the dark. I'm going to switch to my pen so I don't get in that highlight there. It's just personal preference. I like to start with the dark. And sometimes I go back in and add more of the dark, and you can just keep blending until you get it to look how you want. Every time you color over, it just adds another layer of color. Okay, and then let's see. I colored, I think I did dark Fresh Freesia for the plate. Fresh Freesia and Polished Pink are two of our in colors that will be retiring in April, which seems kind of far off, but I'm already getting a little sad about that because I like them a lot. And then I use the light to do the candle. And then I have my So Saffron. Let's see, is this dark So Saffron for the flame. And then I'm going to use dark Polished Pink to just trace over those swirls. A lot of times you can use the stamp, the lines in the stamped image to help you know where to color. That is what I do most often. Or I look at how they colored it in the catalog, or how somebody else colored it, and then I copy. That is how you become an artist. You copy. Okay, and then I'm just going to use the light polished pink on that butterfly too. So there we go. Gather up all my markers and move them out of the way. Okay, so now we are going to die cut the piggy with the Playful Piggy dies, and then we'll assemble. Some of my cards were a little bit more involved this month, so hopefully the people taking my class will not mind too much, but I just had to use some of these stamps and dies that are on the Perfect Partners promotion this month because they are so cute. Okay, so let me move this so you can see. So when you line your dies up, you want the dies to go around the edge, and you don't really want to see white. There will be a white edge after you die cut, but you don't really want to see that. And then I'm just using, you can use washi tape or some of our masking paper. One of my customers got me this purple tape a few years ago, and it works really well. So then we'll put him through. I love when they have dies that go with stamp set, and you do not have to fussy cut. I don't mind fussy cutting, but who wants to fussy cut this pig and get in those narrow spaces, right? Okay. So let's put that away. And then we will do our assembly. Okay. So I'm going to adhere this piece with the butterfly to my other piece of mint macaron. And then this piece I'm going to pop up with some dimensionals. Now, I know some people would use a lot more dimensionals than this, but I am cheap and I don't want to use more than I have to. Maybe you're like me. Okay. That's probably the opposite of what I should be doing. I should be trying to sell you more dimensionals, but I'm going to be honest. I go through them fast enough as it is, right? Hi, Kaylee. Good to see you. As much as I can see you from far away. Okay, and the piggy I'm going to pop up too with dimensionals, and again I'm going to use the bare minimum. I'm going to tell you a little secret. So we could earn demonstrator rewards during Celebration, and it was free product credit, so I used mine the other day and I ordered 10 packs of dimensionals, among other things, but that's how often I go through them. Okay, and then these little pennants are from the Playful Piggies dies too. And I'm just going to use a little glue to put those on. I think our other card should go faster than this one. This one was the most involved, but the piggy is so cute. It's still pretty simple, it just has lots of pieces. So if you place an order and get the card kit, I can't include stamped images, but you'll get all these pieces, and you'll get a piece of white to stamp the piggy on, or, you know, if you don't have the piggy, you can stamp a different image, and you can stamp a different sentiment, but you'll get all the pieces. Okay, we've got a few finishing touches. Let's see if I can find them in the bottom of my bucket here. I have a piece of white baker's twine that I tied in a bow. And I'm going to just put that on the bottom of the balloon. And then we're going to add a little flower and turn this into a girl piggy. These are, oh, I think they're called fun flower, I don't know. Fun flower shapes, embellishments, so they come in 3 colors. Pale papaya, fresh freesia, and polished pink. So we'll use the pink one this time. And I recommend adding this with a glue dot right there in between your ears. Super cute, right? Comment and tell me which color flower you like better, the purple or the pink. I don't know. I can't decide. So you tell me what your choice is. Yes, Kaylee, the little piggies are so cute. And I think anybody, young or old, would love to get a piggy card in the mail, don't you? Okay, now we're going to move on to a few fall cards. And I'm going to be using our Rustic Harvest Suite for 2 cards this month. This is one of our fall suites in the catalog, and it is really, really pretty. So let me get the pieces out for that one. Okay, whoop, lost some of my die cuts there. Okay, so this is exactly how your cards come if you get the card kit. All the pieces are there for you. You just do your stamping. So this one is really simple because it's just a sentiment, and you could put any sentiment there that you would like. So that one is really, really simple. And you can tell I had this in there for a while. It got bent. That's okay. It'll flatten back out. So this is our thick basic white, and then this is part of the Rustic Harvest Designer Series paper. So it has some black and white patterns on the back, which would be fun to color or to use for things other than fall, like especially this one. But we're using the fall colors today. So this is just a strip of 1 1/4 by 5 1/2. So we're going to cover the entire front of the card base. And then this one is 3 by 5 1/2. Make sure you put your pumpkins on so they're not upside down. Trust me, I've done that before. Okay, and then I have some of our linen thread, and I like this card layout to show off the Designer Series paper, and then you can either add like a border strip of cardstock or your ribbon, or like in this case we're going to do some linen thread and just kind of cover up that line, but you are still showing off the beautiful paper. So let's wrap this around. I think I cut my piece way too long, but that's okay. Save the ends and tie a bow for another project. Okay, and then I'm going to show you a little trick. Sometimes it's tricky to tie a bow as tight as you want it to get it to stay. So my little trick for you, like see this one's kind of loose. I'm going to try one more time, but then I'll show you my little trick to hold it in place. I think I've showed it to you before, but maybe you weren't watching that day or you forgot. So, yep, it slipped. It's probably not going to be super tight. Oh, that was better than the first one. Okay, so if you use a little glue dot and stick it underneath there, then the bow will stay in place and it won't slip even if your bow is not quite as tight as you'd like it. Sorry, I'm reading a comment. Okay, I will look, Kaylee, and I will let you know. I will think about that. And I can't see your whole comment, so I will definitely look later and answer you. Okay, now we have a Vellum Circle, and I cut this with our Layering Circles dies. And this one I did pop up with Dimensionals, and I popped up the sentiment too. If you want a flatter card, you could do it just with your glue or your seal. But put them just in the middle where it's going to get covered up by the sentiment, because you can see it shows right through the vellum. Okay, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment, and I am using Memento Black again. It's my favorite ink color of this card class, I think. And this is our hello. And you know what? I'm going to stamp it here first because I feel like it might be, I might have put the sticker on a little crooked. All right, let's see. Not bad. Okay, and no shadow, so that is good. We'll leave that out because I'm actually using it on one more card. So the sentiment I would pop up with Dimensionals, because then we're going to tuck those greenery pieces underneath, and it's a little easier to do that if this is popped up. But you don't have to. You could always adhere those to the back of this with the glue dot ahead of time. So these are cut with the dies that coordinate with the stamp set, and I should show you the stamp set. I forgot to do that. It's called Hello Harvest, and the dies have some pumpkins. We're going to use them on the next card, so I'll show you then. they have dies that cut out some of these images, and then the banner, which is really nice. So we have some really good fall stamp sets this year. And I just decided to go with this one because it was part of the suite, but there are some other good ones in there too. Okay, so I just used a glue dot, and then I'm just going to tuck the part with the glue dot. Thought it stuck to my finger for a second. I'm going to tuck the part with the glue dot underneath, if it will go under there for me. All right, maybe we'll put you this way. Perfect. And let's see about this one. We'll tuck this one up here. So these are two different dies actually, which is kind of nice because then you can cut them both at one time. So there's that one. Super simple, but pretty because of that paper, right? Okay, let's move those out of the way. And my next card is going to be a fall card also. And this one uses that same stamp set, although this time we're going to use a different sentiment and the leaf image. And then this part is embossed with, I forget what it's called, falling leaves, something embossing folder. This is not a part of the suite, but it is one of our fall products, and it's very easy to miss in the catalog. So I wanted to make sure to show it to you. But it's really pretty, and that's what does this embossing back here. So we're going to start out with a soft suede card base. Get all my pieces out. And then this embossed piece is crumb cake, and you can decide which way you want your leaves to be falling. I think I'm going to go this way. So it's kind of a cool thing about that embossing folder. It does have some areas where it doesn't emboss. So you get some white space. I guess it's not a white piece of paper, but you know what I mean, right? And then this is another pattern in that Rustic Harvest Designer Series paper. Then you've got the black and white again on the back. So really pretty. And I'm just going to lay this down. Oops. Across the bottom here. And I'll line up with the edges of the leaf piece. And then let's do our stamping. So I'm doing my sentiment in soft suede to coordinate with the card base. And I'm going to stamp towards the right side because I'll put the leaves on. All right, that's a little crooked, not too much, but I'm going to try it one more time and see if I can get it any better. Just watch, sometimes it gets worse the second time. Oh, maybe that is better. Okay, we'll leave it like that. And then I'm going to use Cajun Craze and Daffodil Delight for my leaf. And you know what? I forgot to bring in my stamp cleaner. So we'll do the Daffodil Delight first because I don't want to get Cajun Craze in my Daffodil Delight. But it should be okay to do it this way. These leaves would be really fun to do different colors on too. Like if you stamped in the Daffodil Delight and then used a sponge to sponge on some of that on the edges, that would be really pretty. Should have thought of that before, but I did not. Okay, I'm going to put this piece on before I lose it, and then we'll die cut those leaves. Okay, so I'm going to bring this back in, and there are 2 leaves, so we'll have to do this twice. Sometimes in our die sets, in the last year or so, they've been putting in 2 dies so you can, of the same thing, so that you can do more than one at a time, but this is not one of those times when they did that. So again, I'm lining it up so that it just matches the edges of my image. And then we'll run it through. Once with the Cajun Craze. And then we'll do a second one with the Daffodil Delight. Now, The paper, I believe the color is actually crushed curry, but my crushed curry ink pad is stamping a whole lot lighter than this and needs to be refilled. And my recommendation to you is if you buy any ink pads, buy the ink refill to go with it right away. But I am very terrible at following my own instructions, so I don't have the refill, and I need to write it down because I forgot to put it on my last order. But buy the refill. It's only like $4, so it's not a lot of money. And my problem is I always think, but I could spend the money on something else. Then I spend more than $4. Okay, these are the dies, and I wanted to show you those real quick. So these open ones cut out images in the stamp set, and then you have a couple of fun patterned pumpkins too. So, and then those greenery images that we used on the other card. So I thought it'd be fun to use this set on 2 cards this month. That way, if you're purchasing something and you're like, oh, I like that, you can use it on 2 cards instead of, you know, having to get a whole bunch of different stamp sets. And it has some nice sentiments that you could use outside of fall cards too. So these leaves I'm going to, whoops, pop up with dimensionals like this, and we'll kind of overlap at the top. And then, so I use the white baker's twine on the Piggy card. This is crumb cake twine, and they come out of the same twine pack. It's called Baker's Twine Essentials Pack, and it has 5 kind of neutral colors. It has crumb cake, gray granite, I believe, berry vanilla, black, and white. And the crumb cake and white ones have, I think, 10 yards, and the other ones have 5 yards. I don't know if I'm exact. Maybe it's even more than that, but the crumb cake and the white ones are bigger spools. So I did a double bow. I just cut 2 and put them together, and then we'll trim off the edges, and we'll add that bow with a mini glue dot right up here. Can kind of play with the bow so it looks how you want it to look. Alright, well that's not laying how I want, but there we go. That's a little better. Okay, and then I did not bring the leaves in here, but this is another part of this suite, are these amber gems, and then they come with little leaf label die cuts that are in our craft paper, and they have a little punch out hole at the top, so you could use them as tags or put them on a card and loop some twine or ribbon through. Really fun, and it comes with a bunch of them too, 20 or 24 maybe. But the gems are really pretty for fall. So I'm just going to add a few of them to my card. Like that. So that's that one. Again, another pretty simple card, but very beautiful. Okay. I might have saved the best for last, although that Piggy card was pretty good. But look how crooked we're getting. Good thing I didn't notice that earlier. That would have really bothered me. Hopefully it didn't bother you. This one we're going to use the Yeti to Party bundle. And I've been featuring this week, so you've already seen this card. And maybe you saw the one I posted yesterday too. This stamp set was on my maybe list. But once they came out with the dies, I was like, okay, I'll get it. And now I am very glad I did because it is a lot of fun. Here's the stamp set. So it has some fun Christmas and wintry holiday greetings. And then he has lots of little things that you can add to make kind of a little scene. And the dies cut the Yeti out. So again, you don't have to fussy cut him. The dies cut out all of these images. And then you get his fun little scarf. So the dies really make this set. And they are while supplies last this month. So don't miss out. But this Yeti is super cute and fun. And this is another one who wouldn't like to get a card that looks like this. So this one I did a winter card, the Winter Wishes. You could send it for Christmas or you could send it anytime in winter. I'm not thinking about winter too much yet because it's still like 100 degrees here, but One day it will cool off. I don't know when. Not anytime soon. That's okay though. Living in Arizona has its perks. When it is cold and snowy and below zero in other places, it is beautiful here. And that is my favorite time of year. And I don't know. I would take heat over cold. How about you? Heat or cold? Some people are the opposite and they would prefer the cold over the heat, but that's why they live in cold places and I live in warm places. Okay, I'm going to straighten that out. This is Polished Pink and Coastal Cabana, and I just love this color combination. I think it is a lot of fun. And then this is another die in the Yeti dies. It cuts out a little window, so that is really fun. And we're going to put a piece of the Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper behind there. So it's like he is looking out his window at the snow. I don't know if I've ever seen a pink sky with snow, but you can't go wrong with pink, I don't think. So to make it have a little bit of dimension, I'm going to put dimensionals right on the corners so that it will pop that paper up. And this is another trick. So you heard me say I go through a bunch of dimensionals and I use them up really quickly. Don't get rid of the edges. Use the edges too, because then you will get more out of each sheet. You know what? Before I do that, I should do my stamping. I should have done that first, so I don't. To be honest, I got this put together and then stamped it because I didn't know exactly what I was going to do. And so it does work, but we don't want to get too far. Okay, so this is just going to go down here, the Winter Wishes. And I'm stamping in Coastal Cabana ink to match our card base. Okay, now we will put our snowflakes in the window. Like so. And then I'll just add some dimensionals to the corner. Oop, I guess I didn't get that side. He didn't cut all the way through. And then we'll put it on. So I guess I didn't cut that side. I thought I got all the sides, but I guess not that one. I usually just go around and cut the whole thing while I'm at it. Alright, and I don't think another one is going to fit in that corner, so we'll leave it open. And just pop that on there. Okay, now it is time to stamp our Yeti. And I forgot to do this for the sentiment, but we'll make sure to do it for the Yeti because this is a photopolymer stamp, and adding this foam mat underneath will just help us get a clearer image. It kind of does like what the red rubber does on the cling stamps. And especially with an image this large, I want to make sure that I have that even pressure. So I use Memento Black again because I'm going to color him just a little bit with the Stampin' Blends. And we don't have Coastal Cabana blends, but I'm going to use my Dark Pool Party. And Pool Party is a really good color for shading, like just adding a shadow. The light works really well, but I thought I would use the dark this time because it is closer to the Coastal Cabana. And I'm just kind of going around the edge. I'm not sure what color Yetis are. I suppose it doesn't matter since they're made up creatures, right? But I've seen him colored a couple different ways. On my card yesterday, I colored in his face and gave him little pink cheeks. And I used the Light Pool Party, but my Light Pool Party is about dead. So I have a new set on order. But the Light Pool Party is probably one of my most used colors just because it is so good for shadows and stuff. So I am just adding this on here. And Kaylee, I don't know if you're still watching, but Kaylee is very artistic, so she could probably tell me some tips for coloring him better than I'm doing. And then I'll just kind of go around his face like that. There we go. Okay, now here comes the best part. We are going to cut him out with the dies. So no fussy cutting. Like I said, I don't mind the fussy cutting too much, but I know some people do, and it is way quicker if you don't have to, right? Okay, and all of the images we use today fit in this mini machine, which is perfect for a video. I will use my bigger machine most often, but this one is great for traveling and for being on video because it fits in the screen better, which is probably not a concern for most of you. But the traveling part, if you like to travel on or craft on the go, I highly recommend this small machine. Okay, scoop him out of the way. So there is our Yeti. And now we just have to add him to the card. And since I had popped up some of the other pieces, I just put him down flat, so it's not too bulky. Okay, that's probably good. So we fit him there, kind of overlapping the window a bit. And then I cut a scarf with the dies out of polished pink, and it fits perfectly, which of course it should, but you know, isn't it nice when you don't have to do the thinking about coordination? It's done for you. That is one of my favorite parts about Stampin' Up! Products. So there's his scarf. And then, this is probably my favorite embellishment. Mine are almost gone. They're adhesive back sequins and gems, and I don't have the gems here. The gems are kind of a different shape, and they're meant to fit in the snowflakes of a stamp set that we have. But these sequins are my favorite. They're Coastal Cabana and Fresh Freesia, which are two of my favorite colors, and I just love them. And they already have adhesive on them, so you don't have to mess with glue. You all know how I feel about that. Oh, that one doesn't want to stick. There we go. So add these to your order. You will not regret it. There we go. So those are the 4 cards. Let me bring them back in and grab the other 2 from my boxes over here. Okay, where did I put Piggy cards? Those didn't end up in the box. They're up here. Okay. So here are the 4 cards, and remember, again, if you spend $40 using my host code that I'll post, I will send you all the pieces to make these. You'll just supply your own stamps, ink, and paper. And then if you spend more than $50, you'll get a free package of the Stampin' Dimensionals in your kit too. And the package is 3 sheets of these. So they're one of my favorite adhesives, if you couldn't tell. And hopefully my tips on how to get the most out of them will help you. Thank you so much for watching today. Have fun shopping that stamp sale, and please let me know if excuse me, if I can help you place an order or if you have any questions. Happy stamping. Bye.